Priya Lobo, and I'm back with my Thoughtful Thursdays. Today I'm going to talk about the power of hugs. And you might wonder why this topic has come to my mind, and it is triggered by conversations. In fact, several conversations, not only with people, but I saw a post where, I saw a person saying that, London is opening up and we are, going to be out. And not only hugging people, but also hugging a tree, and why this becomes important for us. And then I went searching and I saw that, BBC was actually encouraging people to go out and meet people, hug your close ones. And, I heard a lovely interview with the mother and daughter, and, the first time they met after this lockdown and pandemic, and the tight hug and the squeeze of the hug. And why is this so important for us? Because I think as human beings, I think the power of touch, the human touch, and it brings in a whole range of emotions. And in fact, the word hug comes from the Norse word haga, which means comfort. It is also a feeling of safety, it's a feeling of security, it's a feeling of being grounded. And it also does some marvelous things. In fact, hugging actually activates the orbitofrontal cortex, which is linked with compassion and reward. And Paul Zak in his TED Talk talks about 8 hugs a day. But even if you don't literally look at the number 8, but if you really make it part of our consciousness, it has got a whole lot of, it's linked with health and wellness. But the point of actually talking about this is because of this growing incidence of loneliness. Though I have the stats of loneliness in America, which is 47%. I don't think so we have India numbers, but I'm sure it is there, and it is on the rise, because there is, in all the work that I've done today, people are talking and screaming loudly about the feeling of being disconnected. And it talks about the need for social connections, and that is why the topic of the power of the hugs. And I said, let me, dig a little deeper, because the work that I do has got to do with marketing and brands, and how does the emotion of hugging or the feeling of hugging gets translated into brands. And there was a lovely article that I came across, and this is Mark Sheffer. In fact, the article that he wrote actually went viral when he tweeted about it, and I love the name of the article, and it says, what it feels like to be hugged by a brand. And I'll repeat it, what it feels like to be hugged by a brand, literally. And he talks about, he was a professor, and every time he had to go to the college to teach, he had to take a flight. And when he checked into the Hyatt, like all of us, when we take an early morning flight, we're all tired and we look sloppy, and it happened quite often. And I forget the name of the lady who was at the front office. One day when he said that, she found that he was looking particularly very tired, and and he had to go for the lectures, she made sure that when he returned back in the evening, he had a fruit platter and a cheese platter. And that really made his evening. And when he was checking out, she did something very unusual. She came out of the desk and she gave him a tight hug. And he said that gesture had an amazing impact on him. And in fact, when he ends the article, says that I got a hug from Hyatt. And that is why the article is so pertinent when he says what it feels like to be hugged by a brand, literally. And, a hug by Hyatt, it's, while it sounds politically incorrect, in fact, he has written in this article, but it talks about how a brand can establish a connection and this gesture. And when he tweeted about it, went viral. In fact, the CEO and the chairman of Hyatt actually called that lady and they felicited it. And I think it calls for this human touch and human action. And it also showed respect, love, and vulnerability. My second example is about the brand Huggies. And Huggies is a brand, talks to mothers and newborn babies, and especially during this time where social distancing, and while they found that mothers and newborns have been able to connect very well. They've also found that grandparents have not been able to meet with their grandchildren or have had to meet their grandchildren from a distance on the driveway. And the ad is so beautiful. At the end, it shows the grandmother when she finally gets to visit the grandchild, and the ultimate hug. And Huggies has been, as part of the positioning, talking about the celebration of the power of hugs. And since 2015, in fact, they've run a successful program of No Baby Unhugged program, and also have hugging centers in hospitals because they see the health and additional benefits that a newborn baby can get from the skin to skin contact. And what I liked is when they did this ad, what they wanted to communicate to the mother that being a mother it's a tough task. It's a hard time during this time, especially when you have this limited exposure, when you can't meet your friends and you can't meet your family and your loved ones. And in fact, I want to thank a friend of mine, Alicia, who actually said that, they couldn't be with their sister who's just delivered a baby. And therefore, the Huggies ad, when I was looking at it, actually touched my heart because it's actually talking about a human emotion of how you need your family around you. And Huggies says that we get you. Hey, we get you, we understand you. And they're trying to establish this connection with the new mother during this time. And if you look at the ad, there is no short of a diaper. Because they believe that when the mother sees this, she'll be able to connect with the brand very easily. So it is a celebration of the power of hugs. And during this lockdown, I just want you to remember this and hold this in your heart, the power of hugs, the power of human touch, and the social connectiveness. If you like what I say and you want to know more, reach out to me.